So there's a bat leaning against the wall of a guest bedroom in Long Beach, California. It's a wood bat chipped near the barrel. The pine tar is all dark from 1,000 swings. It's leaning against the wall because the boy who owns this bat is on his knees on the carpet praying with his praying hands. Every night, same prayer. God, open a door for baseball. The room smells like his aunt's coffee from the kitchen, and the windows are cracked open. You can hear the freeway 2 blocks over. Also, the suitcase was half unpacked because unpacking all the way would feel like admitting he might have to stay. So that boy was me, 22 years old, undrafted free agent. Nobody wanted me. I flew across the country on a phone number and a prayer, trying to get in front of a bunch of different pro teams, Dodgers, Tigers, and every night I got on my knees next to that bat and I asked God the same thing. And every morning, that bat was still leaning against the wall. God, give me an opportunity. Now, my aunt, a devout Christian, prayed over everything. She's the kind of woman who'd stop mid-sentence to pray for your car. Sometimes she just does it, right? So one night, we're praying, praying hands, everything, all that stuff. And at the end, I expected to say amen, and then we go to eat. Well, instead, this particular night, she stands up, grabs her keys off the dresser, and then says, get up. We are gonna go to the mall. I said, Auntie, I'm praying for baseball and all those opportunities. What does the mall have to do with baseball? She looked at me, and I will never forget this line for as long as I live. She said, sometimes praying with your feet is more powerful than praying with your hands. Faith has feet. She was telling me, faith has feet. I didn't get it, at least not at the time, right? It kind of sounded backwards to me, but I got in the car anyways, because when your aunt tells you to get in the car, you book it. So we take off. We end up at store after store after store at the mall, and at each one, she says the same thing. Ask for an application, ask for the manager's business card, don't leave without both. So I did it. Store number 7, shoe store. Back corner of the mall, the manager comes out. His tie is loosened, looks very tired, looks me up and down, and looks at my application and says, you wanna work here? When can you start? Oh, okay, just like that. No resume, no interview, just ask me, when can you start? Now, by the end of the week, I had 2 job offers, 2, right? In 7 days, after months of nothing. Now, watch what those 2 jobs actually did, because it wasn't just money that I could use, right? Those 2 jobs meant I could stay in California. I could pay for gas. I could stop worrying about long-term rent, right? Enough to focus on my swing. Every early morning at the field, every extra rep in the cage, every workout, I didn't have to skip because I was stressed about paying for it. Now that was all taken care of because I got that job. The mall didn't replace my prayer for baseball. The mall is what kept me standing long enough so that I can continue to pray for baseball. Now, let me ask you something that I'm curious about, right? And you can answer it however you want. What door have you been praying in front of without ever touching the handle? Maybe it's a job, some kind of deal that you're meaning to close, or a college that you want to get into. Maybe it's different applications. You know, you're trying to open things and go after auditions, right? And you keep telling yourself, I'm just waiting for the right time, right? I'm not telling you God doesn't move, right? He does. And I've watched him move in so many amazing ways that I can't even explain. But I've also watched a ton of people, very faithful, confuse standing still with trusting God. One is faith, and one is faith that needs more footwork, because sometimes, not always, but sometimes, God isn't the one who's slow. We are. So a few months after the shoe store paycheck started coming in, I'm on a field in front of a bunch of scouts, and I never would have stood in front of them if I stopped and just went full-time working, right? And then I get a call, a professional contract. It wasn't the Dodgers. I did get the invite, but it wasn't the Dodgers. It was something better than that. It was a real shot overseas in Europe that took me all over the place. And then it eventually got me to Florida, continued my baseball career there, right? If I didn't move, if my aunt hadn't stood up in the middle of the prayer, grabbed her keys and said, get up, we're going to the mall, that same drive and those hands that fit out the application at the food court were God's hands using me to continue to pursue my other dream because I took action, right? The door didn't open because I prayed the right words. The door opened because somebody loved me and reminded me enough to say that faith has feet. You don't need a burning bush, people, to know that your next step is your next step. You already know it. It's the application you haven't sent, the number you haven't dialed, the audition you haven't walked into, right? Your mall is on the way to your field. You just have to walk through it first. And here's another idea. You know that bat that was leaning against the wall? The one I opened the story with? Well, that bat didn't move because I prayed harder. That bat moved because I finally put my feet to the ground. Went in the car, even though I didn't want to. We walked into the store, even didn't want to. And you gotta ask yourself, does your faith have feet? If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. I read everything. What's the one door you've been praying in front of that it's time to walk up to? Grab the handle and open it. If you know anybody that's stuck that needs to hear this in the same waiting room, send it to them. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do for someone isn't to pray for them. It's to grab your keys and say, get up, let's go. Like and subscribe. My name is Faleulu Ropati, Rob Pene. Same guy, both names. God bless.